across universities, TVET institutions, the industry players, and the policy. And some of the presenters. About sports. Then we have Professor Edome from Turkana University. We want to understand the kind of barriers that limit small universities and bigger universities in terms of effective collaboration between their sectors and others. Then we have Professor Osano, that's from Masai Mara University. We hope to ensure that when we end this particular session, we are able to produce ideas that meet really societal and market needs, so we can have some experience from Masai Mara. And we want to understand from the TVET institutions issues that we can talk about, the biggest disconnect that we have in the current system. We are talking about higher education. We are talking about the TVET and the industry. Where do we have the disconnect in this particular current system? Then round two will focus on unlocking opportunities, where we are talking about highlighting successful models and innovations. And here, we will want to understand the successful partnerships KCA has had. Masai Mara, Turkana University, Kisii University, and then the TVET institutions. We'll want to understand how these institutions better align their research, training, and industry needs. And then we can even hear best examples on practices from Kisii University, when they are going to tell us briefly about research to commercialization. I'd like you to appreciate them by welcoming them by applause of. We do once, or which one is better? Decide anyone. Let's do it 1, 2, 3. Let's give Professor Onywera to tell us about his university and what they have done in terms of research and innovations. And don't avoid to talk about sports and innovations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, comrades. Good Good afternoon again. I'll be brief but and to the point. My name is Vincent Onywera. I'm the Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of Research, Innovation and Outreach at Kisii University and a Professor of Exercise and Sport Science. I have 2 innovations to my name. I have come up with 2 innovations. They are already protected. Secondly, I'm here with a team from Kisii University. Some of them are here. Can you be upstanding, my dear comrades? This is part of Kisii University. Take your seats. Some are outside. The experience we have had at Kisii University is a private university, is a large university with a student population of 35,000, and we have several campuses around the world. Kisii University has a standalone division for research, innovation, and outreach, headed by a DVC. We have 2 innovation and incubation hubs, one in our Waraka campus and another one in our Nairobi City campus. We have systems in place, including policies, including standard operating procedures, including relevant offices to support on a day-to-day basis research, innovation, and outreach activities. We have a dean for research. We have directors in charge of partnerships, innovation, ethics, and also research support. We have a very vibrant technology transfer office, and Anthony here runs the technology transfer office at Kisii University. And we also have money. At Kisii University, we have resources. You cannot do much if there are no resources. And we thank our leadership for providing the budget that enables us to do this. So I want to stop there to give others an opportunity. So most important is the systems, the structures, accountable offices, and the vision. Be able to move research from point A to point B. Since I was challenged to talk about sports, I'm a professor of sports science. In 1931, Nyantika Mayoro was born here in Kisii land. Nyantika Mayoro went on to be the first ever Kenyan to go for Commonwealth Games in 1954. Not many people know that history. And we can come up with so many innovations that can be patented, that in our communities, people, or even in our schools, including in Kisii here, we are still using the metal bar for football. You see that metal bar? We are using that metal bar. We are still using the baton, which comes from China. We are still using these balls that are imported from China. Can we use bananas to come up with batons? Can we use banana leaves to develop a net for football, for basket, for all these kind of things? So there's so much that we use banana leaves and bark to make hurdles for the young children as they grow. We are going to patent that idea as Kisii University. Thank you.
Yes, comrade, good afternoon. Hey, do we have comrades here? Comrade, good afternoon. Comrade power. Innovate. Innovate. Hey. I think it's lunch time. That is the worst class session, mostly in our lectures. Afternoon, All right. I'm Professor Peter Edome, from Turkana University College. I don't know how many of you the geographical location of Turkana University. Do you know where it is located? Is it in Kenya or outside Kenya? It is in Kenya. Yes, good. Turkana University College is in Turkana County, in Lodwar Town. I think from where I sit, or where you sit, I think should be around almost like 950 kilometers. So you can imagine the distance. Yesterday, when I was at the VC's office, I was tempted to ask a few questions because we have a good number of students from that particular county who are here at Kisii University. We have also a few people from Kisii who are also working there. So I was looking at that distance because it's my first time to be in Kisii. My last from this western Nyanza, Kenya, is Migori and Homa Bay. But when you pass that junction going to Migori, I was told it's just around 80 kilometers to Kisii. But I had the experience of coming here. And that is good, and that is well. Now, Turkana University College was started on 27 January 2017. So it is almost 9 years old. And Kisii University is 13 years old. That is a variation of 4 years. We are a constituent college of Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology. We are still waiting for our charter, hopefully by the end of this year. Turkana University College has a student population of 5,000 currently, and we have 26 bachelor's programs and almost 40 diploma and certificate programs, and also a few PhD programs. For us, as Turkana University, we call it TUC. I don't know how you brand Kisii. Ours is TUC. In TUC, we have our branded programs. We call it our niche programs because Turkana is known as the cradle of mankind. I think most of you understand that. The Turkana boy, when you talk about anthropology, archaeology, that particular county is known for that. We have flagship programs that we are currently running in human evolutionary biology. We have also programs in dryland agriculture because that is an ASAL area. We have also programs in renewable energy because we have a lot of solar in that particular place. And then we have other common program educations that you normally have, and art-based programs. We have the structures and the systems in place. The University College is headed by the principal and 3 deputy principals. And I'm the one in charge of research, innovation, and linkages. Turkana University, in terms of the global feasibility, will be metric ranking. I don't know, Kisii University, for us in Kenya, among the 200 universities and institutions that were ranked, we were number 18. I don't know Kisii University, because we moved from 35, we came to 34, 27, now we are in number 18 in terms of our global visibility, in terms of research and innovation. And 18, we have left many universities behind us. So you should confirm. The results were released in January. I don't know, KCA, 13. So we are 18. So we want to move, and we want to beat our mother university. When you want to beat your mother, because our mother is just ahead, around number 9 or number 8 there. So we have left many behind us. In terms of research, I'm talking because of research and innovation. So He has asked me to talk about barriers, the linkage between academia and industry. Our young people do not lack ideas. Our universities and research institutions does not lack ideas. Kenya does not lack the ideas. We have the ideas. What we are lacking is the system that can carry that idea all the way to create a long-lasting impact. And that is where we have the weakest link, our biggest gap. We are lacking systems. We are lacking structures that can support our young innovators who have the ideas to solve our problems. And these challenges, one, we have institutional challenges, maybe at the university, research institution, and colleges. These institutional challenges can vary depending with the institutions. Let's take, for example, at Turkana University, the institutional challenges, these are very young universities, they are coming up. Kisii, relatively 13. Turkana University College, 9 years. Can we compare ourselves with Nairobi University, Kenyatta University, which were there before, with now structures, system in place, and even in terms of funding? We have also the financial challenges. It's also a barrier because on how we can support our young innovators. It is a big challenge. Now, the linkage between academia and industry is very weak. The linkage is very weak. Why? Because we are innovating. We are doing a lot of research in our universities. Our research outputs only ends at publication stage. They don't move from publication to products. That's where the problem is. I've done research, I've done publication, then it stops there. It doesn't move from that level to another level. Why? Because of inadequate funding within our institution. That inadequate funding comes from exchequer. If you look at developed economies, talk of Korea, talk of Singapore, that now it's at the lips of every Kenyan. You have even seen our previous speakers or guests, Singapore. That is the dream, but we need to work together, walk the dream and talk the dream. They have allocated in their budget 2 to 3% of the GDP, the gross domestic product. In Kenya, our research budget in our universities, even it doesn't come out, less than 1%, maybe 0.0 something, that can support our young researchers, our young innovators, to translate the idea to create a long-lasting impact. And that's why we're saying, you innovate, then solve the problem, then create the impact. That connection must be well linked. Innovate, solve the problem, create an impact. And now you can see there is a disconnect between research, vis-a-vis innovation, vis-a-vis that innovation into commercialization stage, then now connecting what? To benefit the targeted communities. Because finally, the community should get problem solved. Remember, in the field of medicine and biological invention, people like Alexander Fleming came up with penicillin to treat bacterial infection. Talk about of James Watson, the Franks, who came up the issue of DNA structure. All those are innovation. Now we have companies coming up with electric vehicles. They are now running. Tesla company coming with that. Artificial intelligence is here. Emerging technologies are here. So Internet of Things is here. Machine learning is here with us. Can we adopt to this system? That is the question I leave to you. Thank you.
So, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, you are saying about comrades, but I can see faculty members here. So that is why I'm greeting everybody. Okay. I'm Professor Alois Osano, Masai Mara University. I'm a chemist, basically analytical and material chemistry. And I'm an innovator. I have several innovations in the realm of energy, low-tech energies in short. Now, Masai Mara University, we graced this occasion with my colleague, Mr. Ijere. I was telling some people here that Ijere is the one. I used to read about Rendile people, so I can tell you that they are marginalized group. It's the only one existing on Earth. It's a small group in Kenya. So now, Masai Mara University could say that when we talk about the innovation ecosystem, we started, when I first took over as a director, I'm the director research, innovation, and outreach. I've done that for the last 8 years now. When I took over, that was 2017 as a director. After graduating from Germany in the areas of renewable energy, University of Dresden. I started working, of course, being supported by our Vice Chancellor, and then to start building up the innovation ecosystem. Now I'm happy to report here that I'm happy with that milestone, that we have at least, because those ones which are registered are at least 120 IPs, intellectual properties. And those ones which you have not registered, currently there are around 15, which we are in the process of registering. Now, commercializing an innovation is not an easy thing, so at least we are now at 5 commercialized innovations, which I'm happy about, because realizing commercialization is not easy, but here we are. Now, innovation ecosystem cannot thrive until and when it is supported. Our management, headed by our Vice Chancellor, actually supports this. That is, currently we have a budget of over 11 million to support that ecosystem of research and innovation. And of course, the outreach component of it. Now, we have our council also supporting it. So it is a whole support ecosystem which has enabled us to get to this level. Now, again, Masai Mara University, we have a young incubation center headed by a technology transfer officer, who's of course at the level of a senior lecturer. So we are trying to build that innovation center to improve this ecosystem. Now, when you look at the kind of innovations, one question I may ask the audience, because we need to learn from each other, is it innovations chasing problems or challenges, or challenges seeking for innovations? That's food for thought. Because most of the times we do research, we come up with solutions which are not of immediate use. So where are we? So now, we are talking about copywriting, we are talking about patenting. I saw students yesterday here who are showcasing something they have not patented, they have not copyrighted. And they were having troubles. They were saying they are on their pathway to patenting. I guided a few of them that when copywriting, you don't need to pay anything, but patenting, you will pay something. Copywriting, you can do it alone. You just go to the website of Kikopo and put in your innovation as per the, the guidance given from there, because it is a simple process you can follow. But the patenting, getting a patent, getting a utility model, trademarks, and all those kind of stuff, they need a whole process. So, Masai Mara University, we have a division of research, innovation and outreach headed by a DVC, and within which we have the directorate. And I should say that Masai Mara University, we are going to have an innovation week in May, 4th to 8th. So, and I'm welcoming everybody to come and, grace the occasion with us. We'll share more, but then I should tell our faculty members, our students, for you to innovate, you don't need to be in your dry area, like in your comfort zone. You need to think outside the box. I was telling our first year students, you have to think abnormal. You have to think abnormal. Abnormal means you are thinking outside the box, outside your boundaries. Okay, you venture. And you have to be observant of your surrounding, because you cannot find a challenge somewhere and then think somebody else can work on it. Why not you? Now, faculty members in our university from arts and related areas, like you talk about languages, community development, history, they normally tell me that, okay, in arts we don't innovate, there's no innovations. I should share with you that the Eloblens, the language they are using was innovated by a lady in the University of Limerick in Irish Republic. That language of communication, because before that, there was so many accidents because of miscommunication. That lady now is a multi-trillionaire in dollars, not in Kenyan shillings. You see, she's a trillionaire. She's a lecturer at the University of Limerick. She's a professor there. So what we are saying, anybody can innovate. That is. Then the last thing I will say is about the green innovations. Again, I shared something with a few students I interacted with. Green innovations, you normally, when you are patenting or copywriting, you are supposed to foresee the future of that innovation. Because remember, an innovation is just a slight improvement of the previous, slight improvement to do a better work, to solve problems. So put some statements there which can guard your innovation, which can prevent anybody coming to do a slight improvement over your work and kick you out of the market. That is what we term as green innovations. We'll share more. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you applaud him? Can you applaud him well? Thank you. Let's hear from Mishira.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, sir. My name's Ibrahim Manoti Michira, as you have heard, from the Kisii National Polytechnic. I'm here representing my head of department, research and innovation, who has been called elsewhere to represent the institution in an acoustic affair. And we are here with the blessings of our chief principal, Bwana Geoffrey Andama. He is not here with us today, but should he get an opportunity, you may be able to see him around maybe tomorrow. So I'm here with our team from the Kisii National Poly. We have innovators, we have the trainers, the mentors. So I'm kindly requesting those who are around from Kisii National Poly, if you can stand up to be seen. Kisii National Poly. Yep. Thank you very much. We were quite a number. I think the others are outside there. They have not come in. And you'll be able to see them and know them later. So as I told you, I'm in the shoes of somebody else. I'll try as much as possible to say whatever little I'll be able to say while waiting to see if he can show up, because he was not going there for long. Kisii National Polytechnic is a neighbor to Kisii University. It's just across here. It's around 15 minutes walk from here. And let me say we have had the opportunity on many occasions to collaborate with Kisii with Kisii University in areas, in matters to do with research and innovation. Personally, I've been in this field for around 10 years, the field of research. I have a keen interest in research and innovation. I've mentored a good number of students in that field. Those who come up with ideas, I'm always available to assist in guiding them with the little knowledge that I have. So the Kisii National Polytechnic is one of the premier institutions in this region. It's a very attractive institution because currently we have a population of around 15,000. Actually, there was a time we had an enrollment of up to 20,000, up to a point where we were forced to scale down. We had to stop some of the intakes, like the January intake, so that we can be able to accommodate those members of the public who wanted to join the institution. Currently, we are attracting many students who are supposed to join university. Those who have grades as high as B+, others even A-. At times they come there for diploma courses. These days we don't talk of diploma, we talk of level 1, 2, 3, 4. So diploma is level 6, and certificate is level 5, artisan level 3, 4. So we are offering up to diploma level, that is level 6. If you go to level 7, definitely you will be pursuing a university degree. We have not reached there yet, but I'm seeing us going there because Kisii National Polytechnic started as a very small institution. Actually, it was a youth polytechnic in the 1970s when I was a very small boy. Then it rose to Kisii Institute of Science and Technology, GIT. In fact, up to today, many people refer to it as GIT. But if you referred to it as GIT today, I will reprimand you. I'll demand for an apology because you'll be taking us back. So we are the Kisii National Polytechnic. On the area of research and innovation, we have made big strides. We have been involved in regional and national competitions or research and innovation affairs. We have even been involved in international research and innovation competitions. And currently we have a good number of our innovations which have been patented, and some of them are already
in the stage of incubation. They have been funded for incubation because of their exemplary performance. And we have that specific department of research and innovation, which is run by a secretariat headed by the head of that department, whom I told you is not here with us today. At the same time, recently we came up with what we call STI, an STI section, that's science, technology, and innovation section, in which the research and innovation team get the ideas from. It has coordination. The training is done at that section. So I don't think I'll have much to say. I'll invite each and every one of you to Kisii National Poly anytime. Feel free to come and see what we are doing there. We are offering so many courses. Let me say, most of the courses offered in most of our universities, up to 90% of our national universities, are offered in Kisii National Polytechnic, cutting across various disciplines, from engineering to health, to agriculture, to hospitality, to business. Of course, all of them at the diploma level, that is at level 6. So thank you very much for giving me an ear. We'll be able to discuss more later. Let me give this opportunity to my next colleague. Thank you so much.
Kindly appreciating. Thank you. Now Kisii University, Mr. Momani.
Good afternoon. Sometimes it becomes very difficult to pitch Kisii University as a host at the same time. Our partners have placed their university at a very high level. But I have a story to tell, and the history of innovation in Kisii University cannot go down without this nitty-gritty story about how it was initiated. Moman Geoffrey is my name. I have a very strong background and a mentor, believer of innovation. Today marks almost 3 years, since we started the conversation about innovation. Kisii University started in 2013. It is among the universities that benefited from the Constitution 2010. And to a large extent, this is a benefit to the community. Why I say so? I remember in the year 2009, sitting in Taifa Hall, and then Tony Omwansa, who was a key speaker today, was presenting why we need an innovation lab that later graduated to be a C4D lab at Chiromo. And sitting in the congregation, I could feel this scholar has something. And that is the time I was baptized to believe that our problems can be solved by ourselves. And I joined a committee that was launching the innovation activities in the university, and that actually gave birth to Innovation Week. If we go to history, the first Innovation Week in Kenya was done at the University of Nairobi, and I was part and a parcel of that team that implemented the program. That goes down that we are in this first Innovation Week, championed by the only one, Dr. Tony Omwansa. I think it's a history that needs to repeat and reflect why universities need to have this. Number 2, I happened to be a secretariat of analyzing how many innovations that are not documented at the university. Do you know why we were doing that? We were given a circular by the government that capitation is going to be reduced. So we were seeking how do we then survive? I remember one Professor Maina, an expert in seed, had engaged Jogo maize millers and they had fortified an innovation with vitamins. And it was getting quite a number of the comrades call it what? Comrades muko kwa nyumba. When you get some money, how do you call that one? Today in the morning we're discussing it. Unaomoka, then we used to call it unaomoka. He used to get quite a number of, and it used to support his research. So it was then the responsibility of management to institutionalize. And the first thing that the university did, which we started with, is to establish what we call an intellectual policy, IP policy framework. The one which was there was almost 30 years old. So it forced the university to develop an intellectual property policy framework. I want to link the two. 2021, I was some few months old in this university. I think Ross can confirm that. I was 9 months old. And there was need, because COVID was here. And there was fear that the university is not solving the problem we have at hand. We don't have any solution. And how do we say that we have a solution? And I want to link that and pitch this university. The university has 8 schools. And for research, we look at them at 8 faculties. And I want to confirm that we take the highest number of intakes annually using KUSPs. We allocated the highest number. Last year we took 10,000, almost. I think this year we may surpass that number. So in these 8 schools, School of Law in the year 2021 we were the best nationally. School of Health Sciences is rated the best. We have School of Business and Economics, which is very strong. School of Arts and Social Sciences. We have School of Pure and Applied Sciences, with the School of Arts and Social Sciences. In our office, we normally have a discussion surrounding the 2 schools because the way they collaborate in research, you find the symbiotic relationship between social sciences and pure and applied sciences. We have School of Agriculture and Natural Resource Management, which actually is being challenged on the issues of climate, environmental health, intersections, because we need solutions around it. So comrades from these schools, which school have I? We have 8 schools. So what I'm trying to pitch here that the university since 2021 has gone through a tremendous transition up to this first Innovation Week. Actually, data shows that in the Weibometric ranking, we are number 34 in the country. So we are pushing you up so that we take your position. But there's one thing we realized. In the Weibometric ranking, we went back to understand what is this do they measure? I think we had a conversation, Ross can, we had a conversation, what is that they measure? As scientists, we want to know what do they measure so that we become number 1. Then we are revamping our website. And if we revamp our website, I think the real position of our university should be the top 10. That one I confirm to you. Then, to answer the question of what do we do as a university, what are we doing as a university to move this innovation way forward? The IP policy framework, as a professor was saying, systems is the main issue. And we thank the current management, and we thank the innovation ecosystem that they have empowered our leadership. They are now able to communicate within the same wavelength. I think then we started in a different way. We could talk to council, to management, and we are talking about innovation, R2C, we hear research to commercialization, and people are looking at you. We are a university, we don't do business. But I think that culture has evolved as we move on. So we see a future at Kisii University. We see currently a review of our strategy, and there is an emergency of 2 documents coming, which will guide our implementation of research to commercialization. It's a strategy which is guided by Kenya that is coming. On top of that, I've benefited in stakeholder brainstorming on where then do we move forward as a nation in terms of science, research, innovation at a higher level. There's a blueprint coming, and we believe that we can customize this to our own strategy. So we believe that moving forward, our curriculum will reflect what we need to do as a research institution. We believe linking to the community. And with this population we have of 24,000 plus students, that the sky will not be the limit. People will be talking about Kisii University. But we don't limit the collaboration. The collaboration, synergy, both nationally, internationally, has become also one of our strongest take-home. So as the conversation goes on, as we rebuild and rethink on how to reposition this university, I want to request our comrades that the university cannot be a university without students. So you are the brainchild of research. The more hours you have in research, the better. And I'm actually challenging our scholars, our supervisors, our professors, which I subscribe to very soon, that we need to change the approach of our research topics into to be research problems to be solved. So then the number of hours we take in thesis defense needs to reduce into research questions, research problems. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciated him. Let's appreciate him. Thank you so much. What you presented from each institution. Taking a question back to Professor Nywere, then I give an opportunity to the audience. I'm asking you, why do you think collaborations outside Kenya works better than collaborations within Kenya?
Thank you very much for that question. I'll be brief because I can see half of the audience, I think they have gone for other more pressing matters, and that's understandable. Oh yes, yes. I don't know the yardstick, moderator, that you have used, that collaborations within are not as successful as collaborations outside.
Maybe I can put it this way. Looking at even our institution, Kisii University, you find we have signed very few MOUs with, like now we don't have an MOU with KCA, we don't have an MOU with Masai Mara, but you will find that we have MOUs with Australian universities, German universities, and many others.
Thank you very much. Again, let me congratulate Kisii University on this amazing milestone. We'll be back here next year to celebrate the second Innovation Week. Thirdly is to commend the students. Moderator, these students are amazing students. They are amazing, and probably I think we are talking to the wrong audience. The problem could be us, the lecturers. The problem could be the faculty members, because when you go out at the exhibition booths, you find that the people running and managing those exhibition booths are the comrades, they are the students. But where are the lecturers? At least the lecturers are the ones who have taught the students to come up with whatever they are showcasing. Where are the members of faculty, at least even of Kisii University? I'm not marking the register here. So that's an area that needs to be looked at. Number two, there is, to answer your question, I think there's also colonial mentality and inertia, that the North have more resources than the South, and therefore, if I enter into an MOU with University X and Y in US or Canada or Germany or Israel, then that's a good thing. It's supposed to be a good thing, but MOUs are supposed to be for mutual benefit. However, the challenge I've seen that makes MOUs not flourish, especially from the global South, from us, is the lack of proper monitoring, evaluation, and learning mechanisms. It comes down to systems, accountability, not at the level of the Vice Chancellor. The Vice Chancellor and CEO signs the MOU at an institutional level. The DVCs are at policy level. But the MOU is supposed to be implemented at the lowest academic and research unit, which is the departmental level. So if we have eight schools at Kisii University, each and every school here should do mapping of possible partners, including those ones in Keumbu there, so that it starts from bottom up. And that way it grows organically. Kisii University, we have 3 schools: the School of Business, our heritage school, School of Technology, and the School of Education. Every school have their collaborating institutions. And I monitor every day when I go to work. It's my work to do that. But at a strategic level, we have those who do operations, and then we have the students who benefit from those MOUs. So in conclusion, I think we need systems that are accountable. We need to follow up. We need robust monitoring and evaluation programs to ensure that those MOUs are not just signed and then put somewhere, and there is photo session, and the photos are put on the website, and then that becomes a landmark of the MOUs. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I can now open up the session to the audience. Yes, please.
Thank you. I'm Mr. Mwangu from Great Lakes University of Kisumu. I think the question asked was not answered because I was really interested in that. You find that most universities are in a rush to sign MOUs with universities abroad, but we don't really optimize opportunities available locally. So I would really want to hear why is it attractive to sign MOU with Wazungus and not with Africans? So maybe that is what you were, I was looking for an answer which I didn't get. Thank you.
I have an opportunity for rebuttal. I think the question was answered, but not in the way you wanted it to be answered.
Yes.
Yeah, because first of all, I said systems need to be in place. We need to understand our niche areas. We need to understand what we want, but also, without fearing, there is colonial inertia, that there's a lot of benefits by signing an MOU with the University of Toronto in Canada than signing an MOU with the Great Lakes University of Kenya. And we have, by the way, tried to sign an MOU with the Great Lakes University of Kenya, but it has taken of Kisumu. Great Lakes, it has taken almost 3 years. So we need to appreciate what we have within first before you go out there. Finally, the person who decides the signing of the MOU, you know that person, you know the leader who decides. So there's wisdom there. But once the MOU has been signed, who implements it? Who operationalizes it? It's at the departmental level. That's where the real game is. That's where we have the lecturers. That's where we have students. That's where we have academic excellence. That's where we have research.
Thank you. Mishira would also want to add.
Maybe I can add. Thank you. I think we need to believe in ourselves. Believe in yourself that you have a potential that you need to unlock. The potential lies with you. You know, this culture or mindset, it is called the attitudinal mindset. The attitudinal mindset, the attitude, the mindset that the whites can solve our own problem, which to me, it is very myopic. It's not right. Because we need to localize our own solutions, our own problem within our environment. We can get solution from within ourselves. And we have the natural laboratories. Our environment is just the natural lab. You have seen the whites, the external donors, they have interest. If you talk about research espionage, they are coming to get information from here. The agenda. You don't know what the agenda, what they have. So for us, we need to wake up. This is a wake-up call. We need to change our attitude. We need to change our mindset. Let us strengthen our collaboration and partnership locally first before we go out. In my university, we have tried to minimize. We have 3 universities that we have already signed an MOU, and our MOU is working, and especially on academic exchange program. We have State University of New York in Oswego in New York. We have students on exchange program. We have Case Western Reserve University in the state of Ohio. We have also faculty exchange programs. And we have also students we have taken to Harvard because of a program that we have that is more beneficial to us than to them because they offer a program in biological anthropology. So it should be beneficial, but let us maximize the partnership and collaboration with us. Like now, Turkana University, we have signed with Alupe University. We have signed with University of Eldoret. We have signed, in fact, institution next to us, we have the MOU, including national polytechnics, including a few industries. Why? We need to strengthen that collaboration and utilize the resources that we have. Thank you.
So thank you. Let me also take this opportunity to try and answer your question. And I think the answer to that question, sorry, it's your question. Huh? Yeah, the answer to that question is threefold in nature. Number one, in life, I believe that if you want to grow, you must admit your weaknesses. If you are weak, accept that you are weak. You go to a doctor and you are suffering from cancer of the intestines, and then you tell him, doctor, no, you know, my stomach is itching outside here. The moment you tell your doctor the truth, he'll be able to address your problem. So problem number one that we have here in Kenya and let me talk of the third world countries. The truth is we are still very far behind in terms of development in various sectors, and especially in this technology. If you look at a country like the United States, those people have been independent for more than 200 years. They have had all the liberty, all the resources, both human, financial, and name it, to develop their nation. Technologically, they have advanced so much. You look at a country like Japan, the same. Immediately after the Second World War, Japan simply raised their hands. They said they'll never be involved in war. They are now concentrating on research, on developing their nation, on industrializing their nation. You see how far they are. Almost 70% of the cars driven here in Kenya and in the most third world countries come from Japan, not even Germany, which is older in terms of motor vehicle or automobile innovations. Or countries like China, you see where they are at the moment. Those people have never been involved in any serious war. They have been concentrating on developing their industries, developing their research institutions. You can see how far they are. As until 1963, we did not have that liberty to think for ourselves. The Mzungu came and he made us believe that we are so backward that we cannot even add 1 plus 1 and get 2. We always say it is 11. So that mentality, my colleagues have been referring to here, is also with us. We need to do away with that mentality and believe in ourselves. Because even Jesus said, with a little faith, with the size of a mustard seed, you can tell a mountain to move, and it does what? It moves. Our chief guest told us here today, there's something I picked from him. He said, you need to be people, to think on possibilities, okay? Not impossibilities. Believe that you can do it, and you'll do it. All things are possible to him that believe. So let us believe in ourselves, but above all, let us also admit that we have a problem. We have a weakness. We are far behind other nations, and if there's anything we can learn from them, that's okay. But it's not that we are the worst, because like in Kenya, it's known worldwide that we are the innovators of the M-Pesa thing. Worldwide, and it's being accepted all over the world. It's being used. So us too, we have something to offer. But on industry and other innovations dealing with artificial intelligence and what have you, let us accept that we have a problem. Let me give an example to finish. Sometime around 2012, I was in charge of an institution which is now a technical training at TVC. That's Riatirimba TVC, for those ones of us who know it. And I'm the one who received machinery and equipment worth almost 1 billion Kenya shillings. I oversaw the installation, I oversaw the commissioning and everything. And interestingly enough, those machines came, those equipment worth almost 1 billion. It was 930 billion. So a short while later, a few months later, we had these Chinese who were sent to come and train the staff on how to use those machines. Unfortunately, what I saw there is something which I'm seeing even to date. They came, yes, they are very, I hope there's no Chinese around, they are very mean, very mean with releasing the information they have, the knowledge. So we were given only 2 weeks to be trained on those computer numerical controlled machines, CNC machines, as well as the conventional machines. 2 weeks, I'm being trained to be released to go and train. Just 2 weeks. Do you think that time is enough? I'm competing with a trainer in the University of Wanzhou who has been exposed for the last 10, 15 years. In fact, let me say, 3/4 of his lifetime, because even when he was in primary school, he was already exposed to those kind of equipment. And me, I'm given 2 weeks. So that's another problem we have, another challenge. And finally, we have the idea of, this issue of corruption. Africans, we are very corrupt, and it's very unfortunate. You know why I say that? I have an opportunity to come across from Kisii National Polytechnic to Kisii University, which I know is excelling in a certain field, maybe agriculture. I can be trained better here than I can be trained in Uganda, than I can be trained possibly even in Israel. Those people are here. But because my heart is so corrupt and I don't have that, what do we call it? I'm not a national. I don't love my country. I don't love my country. So I love myself. So mi napiga hesabu mtu anitume hapa Kisii University anipatie per diem, aniambie it's not even per diem, I give you an allowance of 3K or 2K per day, when I can be flown to Israel, to the US, and per day I'll be given 50,000, for instance. I'll make more. So I don't go there because I'm going to get more knowledge or a better training. I go there because of my stomach. That's another area that we should address. Thank you so much.
Okay. Momani, I am giving you 1 minute, and Professor Sano 1 minute, because we don't have time. Huh? Momani, 1 minute.
1 minute. I'm refreshing the question, and I'm thinking a bit differently. Why do we have exchange program with the universities outside and not having the same exchange program with the Kisii University? Why do we want our postdoctoral to be done outside country but not within our space? Why not in Kisii University? Why do students want to do their masters after graduating from Kisii University at Oxford University, not in Kisii University? So it's the same phenomenon. If you go question yourself on and on and on, you realize there is an embedding reason. And to me, I think simple. The simplicity of it is, we look at, where is my happiness? Where is your happiness? Mahali pesa iko haraka haraka. We are quick fixers. At the end of the day, we have systemized it. That this MOU will be signed to be in the shelf, but the real purpose for the MOU not to be implemented. That goes back to the question of, why do we have universities? I don't want to answer that.
Thank you. Professor.
Now, for me, I was looking at it from this way. Currently, I'm having some guys from America who want us to collaborate. But the first thing they did was a survey. What is in there for them? So in most cases, Europeans and those other guys, they know how to market themselves. So they do market and they dangle carrots. One of the carrots they dangle is a possibility of having some funding from their university, or some possibility of winning a grant. One thing I should tell you, those guys, they cannot win a grant without an African university in there. But once that grant comes, normally they take the huge chunk of the budget, and then they give you a small one. Okay? But who made them win? It is us. They cannot win. Look at the European Union. They cannot win without an African university on board. So they go fishing for partners who are attractive. So as Africans, we are attractive to them to get grants. So they use us as a stepping stone. So actually, going forward, if university management and councils they can work out in a way to do what we term as within country collaborations. We share the resources, the little resources which are there, will go far. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Mecha?
Okay, maybe my friend who is in sports science, I can see a problem because people didn't see this problem. Why is it that the Kisii athletes did not keep on their tradition? And actually, when we met with some of the athletes, and they told me it is us who trained those guys in Rift Valley, I think through the Mosocho circuit. But I remember as a youth, when Mosocho circuit would happen, there used to be my friends who used to practice running around the golf field, which is now closed up exclusively to golfers. And they would tell me I would have gone to represent the country, but I was clipped with spikes. So most of the Kisii athletes would always have the story about being clipped by the spikes. And no one has ever talked about it. And then I know there is the political goodwill thereafter, which we didn't have, and we still don't have. Now, I'm now coming back to our issue of collaboration, because we would have also collaborated with them now so that they leave us some slots. So it needs like an innovation you need to do now is you know that there is even better talent here. How do you bring it out? How do you bring out? I know there are fellows here who can run faster, like Oviri, the guy who surprised most of them. So, because our altitude is higher, so we should do better. Now, so then it comes to our universities, the issue of collaboration. And I was just wondering, why can't we also have, out of the 1% or 0.5%, there should, and this Momanyi should listen carefully, as a way of forward. Why can't you also, the questions like you're asking, why didn't you put 0.5% of your internal research funds with a rider? If you have no collaborator, like now inside here we have said, if you have no interdisciplinary link, don't waste yourself submitting. Then do like a quota there. Say these are special quota. These ones you can only win if you have someone from Turkana University, and University of Turkana should also reciprocate and say, because you are in research department, I think you are the bosses now, when you go back, go and start tweaking just one sentence, saying some of these researches, if there is no element of collaboration outside the university with other local universities, we are not going to recommend. 2, there is the issue of why are we afraid of research? Any kind of research. Dr. Guta will tell you, me, I always support, do all manner of research. Unfortunately, we do 90% bad research. But you don't kill the 90% bad research. What we need to ask ourselves, how can we get people doing more research? Like now there's a grant, which there's a research grant I'm always trying to get for Yale every year. They just give you money, you go and you sit in their library and research on Shakespeare. You know, I read Shakespeare a lot. I mean, why are you not ready to give money to someone to come and study maybe Ngugi wa Thiong'o for an entire whatever, so that you activate his literature that way? So it's not a matter of, when you talk of a problem, the problems are diverse. And it's a matter of us, like now we need to do can we have the landscape of these are the problems, and then these are the priority problems, so that if we put them in a scale, those things which you don't desire, we put them at the bottom, but we don't throw them out, because you might find that you're killing your child with the bathtub. Okay, so those are the 2 comments. So then the challenge is, why can't I come to Masai for just a year on a self program where I'm deciding what I'll study, and I study it, and you give me money to study it? Okay? Why are we afraid of research? So let's make research so lucrative that I can even give you money to come here and count cockroaches in the university.
Thank you. Can you appreciate him? Those were good comments. Who has a question? I want to finish. I want us to go for lunch. Alupe. Okay. Alupe University.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm Dr. Mengwa from Alupe University. I'm the research director. I have my colleague here. He's an innovation and commercialization champion. He's Dr. Isaac Manja. I will not take much time. I want just to say that we held our Innovation Week on 11th and 12th March. Inaugural. It was the first. So our DVC ASA, Professor Margaret Orina is from here. And she was the one who shared with me the poster from Kisii University. So I want to say that we had about 33 innovations, 32 from students and 1 from staff. And I actually agree with the prof that we are not getting the necessary input in terms of innovations from our staff. Because if you fill the templates that we normally fill on innovations, and we normally are supposed to highlight both what students do and staff do. Secondly, I want to say that there's a lot that we need to manage in terms of expectations from students, especially the innovators. I want just to quote one case that I received recently. One of the students was proposing that from the innovation that he or she presented, I see if I can get an equivalent certificate from Kenya National Qualification Authority. I think there are a lot of things the student quoted regarding that. So there is a lot that we need to manage in terms of expectations from the students. And if we don't do it properly, then we end up losing everything. So as even we engage in innovations and Innovation Week, especially for those who are doing it for the first time. Of course, for my case, I want to say that I picked this from the STI strategic plan and also from our strategic plan of the university. And luckily, I think we moved so fast and we have been able to have the Innovation Week. So we are very much privileged to be here and to learn a lot from you, and it's good to see Turkana University who are here recently in our university. And and so we really appreciate we are trying. We don't have a technology and transfer office. I think we really need that, even from what the chief guest mentioned. Managing the innovators is not something very simple. We are trying to do it our best. We are putting in the structures. We didn't have any structures in place. And hopefully, when we have our second Innovation Week, we will expect, we'll be inviting most of you who are here so that we continue this journey together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great Lakes, you have something again?
There's something that I was looking at what we have presented today for morning. I feel that there lacks a nexus between when our students graduate, they go out with these ideas into the community. So I've seen Maseno University, for example. They did come up with an incubator. In this incubator, students are trained and they are exposed to real life of doing business for up to 3 years. And during those 3 years, they're being helped to get businesses, service tenders, apply for tenders and all that. So once they do that, at the end of 3 years, now they can exit the incubation. I think they had about 30 of them, and students apply to be incubated. After that, they can now go out and start doing business. So I think if other universities can cope with that, it will really help our students. Otherwise, when these students are done with university, the first thing they fear most is KRA. You start any business, KRA is on your neck with a huge bill. So I think we need to go the incubation way to help students get out with good business ideas and innovations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'd like to stop there. Can we appreciate everyone? Moving forward, the pathway is very clear from what the panelists have said. We need stronger collaborations across sectors. We need stronger collaborations between institutions. First of all, let's start from home before we go outside. When we had a symposium here, that was in February, School of Arts and Social Sciences had an international symposium. And when we were looking at the partners that we had, the Deputy Vice Chancellor was the one occasioning the day, challenged me, Daktari, why are you so much international than national? Most of the partners were from outside the country. So it's a challenge again today that we also need to be more national, local. And what our brother from Great Lakes has talked about incubation, I think that's what we focused yesterday on, translation of knowledge. The knowledge that we get from research, it has to be interventional. Another thing that is very important that we have touched today is about more intentional alignment between, you become intentional in aligning research, skills, and market needs. That's when your innovation can have a meaning and value. Then, enhanced policy and financing frameworks to support innovations. If we don't have those policies that are aligned with these innovations, you may not get any funding. You will be knocking offices, you will be knocking industry, they will not give you any funding. And as we conclude, let's remember that the true impact of this session will not be measured by what we have just said today, but with what we choose to do next. Thank you, and thank you for participating. Edgar, can we have a photo for the panelists? Then once it's done, the visitors, the panelists, and the visitors from the other institutions, we go back to the Deputy Vice Chancellor's office, we take lunch. Our students, our students, you'll go back to where we took tea and also take lunch.
Sorry, the VC's guests, you'll go to the council chambers. All of us are VC's guests, but this also will fit at the council chambers. Then the rest of the staff from the other partner institutions, we go to the Senate chambers. And then our students, there's a lunch shed outside for us.
Thank you. We can stop there as they take us a photo. We can stand. Guys from Rupe, Great Lakes, you can join us. We take a photo. The chair, Rose, Omosa, you can come, we take a photo. I hope